All right, I am ready, guys. I am ready. I am in Tlaquepaque. I think that's how you say it.
How do you pronounce it?
Tlaquepaque.
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 Okay. And I'm ready to give you my final thoughts on San Luis. I actually had a friend of mine ask me to do a final thoughts video, so that's what I wanted to do. Of course, we did not experience the entirety of San Luis, but we experienced a lot of it. We went around the industrial zone, we went around the good neighborhoods, we went around the bad neighborhoods, we went all around. So we really got to experience a lot of it. And my thoughts on San Luis are, it is an absolutely gorgeous place that has so much to offer. It's really, really chill. So if you want a place to like settle down and, you know, whatever, to live in a really relaxed, comfortable, clean environment, San Luis is the place. It really is. Over in Guadalajara, we're over here near Guadalajara right now. I mean, you really can't compare the two. Well, you can, but they're nothing alike. You know, San Luis is a big city, but it's got, to me, it's got more of a small town vibe, right? Big city, but small town vibe. The traffic is terrible, okay? So understand that you will have to deal with traffic if you do go over there. The cost of living is extremely high.
En San Luis
San Luis
Potosi.
Sí.
Spencer, thank you.
Sí. This came from San Luis Potosi.
San Luis Potosi.
Yeah.
Our
Very
teachers like
That's for rich men.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It was very
That
expensive
is really
there.
expensive.
Muy caro?
Yeah, muy
Sí.
caro.
When compared to other parts in Mexico. So for example, we're over here in Guadalajara, the food here, when compared to the places that we've been to in San Luis Potosi, the food here has been much more inexpensive. And this is a huge city with a lot of restaurants and a lot of nightlife. Now, can you find more appropriately or more Mexican prices? Can you find that in San Luis? Yes, it does depend on where you go. But even those places will still be more on the expensive end. So again, relatively big city, small town feel, very, very expensive. What you're getting for the money you're spending is a very clean, very quiet, very relaxed vibe kind of a place. Very well manicured. Even in the industrial zones, the places where they're building up, the places that are not currently fully built up, they're still clean, they're still safe. And even if they don't look super well manicured, they've been very well manicured when compared to the other places that Brittany and I have seen. So I'm very impressed with this city. Again, the cost is really unreal, because for the cost, yes, you're getting a safe place to live, you're getting a clean place to live, you're getting a lot of beautiful, well manicured, for the most part, streets and areas. But there isn't too much to do there. It's more of like a chill retirement kind of a place. That's the way I would put it. That's my final thoughts. Now, the driving was horrendous, and the people who were driving were horrendous.
Mexican drivers and cars, I mean, they are the kindest people in the world until they get behind the wheel.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. People in here are very rude. Like,
Okay.
maybe with, I don't know. Like, even when they drive and stuff, they're
Yes.
very, very rude.
Very
yeah.
rude.
Yeah.
When people get in their cars, they act, over there in San Luis, they act, it's unbelievably sad that the driving like that exists. And I'm from New York. So the driving there in San Luis, I would say, is even worse than the driving in New York City, like in Manhattan. Worse meaning the people who are driving, the drivers, they're more nasty, they honk a lot, they are very cold and very selfish. Very rarely will you be allowed to cross a street when it comes to, if you're walking. Very, very rare. So that stuff I did not like. Now, I'm going to give you an example of once we arrived here. When we arrived here, over in Tlaquepaque, I don't know if I never know if I'm saying it right. The difference was incredible.
Hello, my friend.
Hola, hola. Gracias. Thank you for being welcoming.
Buen día.
Adios, buen día.
I really appreciate turistas. Okay. I came here in Tlaquepaque and visit all the place.
Oh,
Good for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Enjoy it.
thank you.
Take some beer if you want to.
Say again?
Take some beers.
Oh, some beers. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
You got people riding around in their cars, they're smiling, they're like, hey, they're literally waving at you, they're like nodding at you, like letting you walk when you're crossing the street, letting you go when you're driving. They're just like, hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Mexico that I know and love. This is the way it was in all the other areas, for the most part, that Brittany and I have ever visited, in all the other places in Mexico. When we got back here, I felt like, wow, I'm a human again, and I'm back on planet Earth. And the people here are warm, they're smiling, they're happy. The people in San Luis, for the most part, everybody was moving around real cold, real closed, boxed in, you know what I mean? But that's the culture there. So if you're cool with that, you're cool with that. But I know me, while I was there, I started to become that way. Whether it was while I was driving, whether it was while I was walking, I started to become and acclimate to the culture. Because why are you going to say hi to people if they're not going to say hi back? Why are you going to be kind on the road when it's only going to get you killed? You know what I mean? You can't. You have to drive the way they drive. You kind of have to act the way they act. You know? I mean, you don't have to, but it'll be real hard if you don't. Now, I'm not trying to say that they're all bad people and they're cold. And this is on a spectrum, okay? I'm speaking on a spectrum. When compared to other places in Mexico, it's expensive and the people are this way. When compared to other places in Mexico. When we got here, people were waving at us, welcoming us. We weren't here 5 minutes before we had someone welcome us. We were like, wow, we're back in Mexico. San Luis does not feel like Mexico to me. It does not feel like Mexico to me. It feels like a watered down, colder version of Mexico. Absolutely gorgeous. And the people who we have met and actually got to speak to were extremely nice. But I must tell you the truth. And I must tell you that when compared to the other place in Mexico, this is what we are seeing. And I know that I am not wrong because I have friends and family in San Luis Potosi. And they told us that they literally have the people who live in San Luis actually have a word that they refer to their own people as. And I don't remember what that word is, but it basically, they have a word for the way the people are in San Luis. So they have their own word. And that word encompasses the cold, harsh demeanor. All right? So I'm not crazy because I've seen it and I've lived it, and I have everyone else who lives in the area telling me that I'm correct. So these are my experiences so far. The real estate over there, very, very nice, and it's reasonable. It's definitely reasonable. Again, reasonable is a scale, right? So, you know, what's reasonable to you might not be reasonable to me, and so forth. But at the end of the day, I thought it was a beautiful place if you want to settle down in a clean area. But I don't believe that you're getting Mexico. To me, San Luis, in my brain, is not Mexico. It's not. It feels like another country. So anyway, these are my final thoughts. I hope that these thoughts made sense, and I hope I conveyed them properly. We're over here again near Guadalajara. We'll be checking out Guadalajara pretty soon. We drove through there the other night. We had some dinner over there. We had a great time. It was extremely huge. It reminded me of being in Manhattan. I am very, very, very excited to be able to go check this place out. And we already have some walking tours of Tlaquepaque recorded that I just have to edit and get out on the camera, onto the YouTube. So stay tuned, guys. I hope you're all well. Be safe, and I'll catch you all at the next video.